Hi, everybody. I am so excited to have Sarah Kleist here. Sarah, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Sarah Kleist. I never know what titles to describe myself as first because I have truly so many, but I am an actor singer, obviously, hence being here chatting with you, but also a brand and web designer. I run my own brand and web design sort of studio and do a lot of like marketing consulting for creative clients. So that is like the two main hyphenates, and then there's other, random hyphenates as well, but we'll get into that.
Amazing. So I first found you on Instagram. I love following you. If you don't follow her, Kleist Creative. And then, sorry, that's your business. And then what's your personal slash acting?
Yeah, so my business is Kleist Creative. I have it as a separate Instagram account because I just feel like it's like specific content that I feel
Yep.
like people in my personal and or theater life like may not always want to opt into. So, but my personal Instagram is Sarah Kleist, just my name.
Awesome. Yeah, I love watching your Insta. We didn't talk about this in the pre-thing, but like, what's your new outfit thing? I love it. Like, I
Oh my
totally forgot
God.
to ask you about that. I'm like, oh my
I'm
God, I
dead.
love following you.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay,
I
so there's
forgot to ask.
there's an app called Wearing, which Whering, and it's free. And you go through and you take pictures with the app of every single item of clothing you own, and it like removes the background and like helps you categorize them into like tops, bottoms, like
Oh my
dresses, whatever.
gosh. Yeah.
And then in the app, you can like go and make mood boards of like your outfit so that like you, for one, like remember everything that you have. I don't know, that happens to me all the time where I like
So
find a
true.
shirt and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't worn that in like 10 years. So I did this one day. It didn't take me very long to set up. It was like
Yeah.
hours or something. And yeah, I took pictures of all my clothes and now I have these little outfit mood boards. And I was like, oh wow, what a fun creative way to like actually get dressed because I like work
Oh,
from home most of the time. So you'll find
yeah.
me usually in leggings. And yeah, it's really fun. So highly recommend everyone download that.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I like need to go do that. And also like on your Instagram, you show going to different places for your work. So
Mhm.
you have a list, right? Or how do
Oh my
you
God, yeah.
how do you
I
find these places?
Yeah, okay. So I'm insane and I have a lot of like digital organization habits.
I love
One
it.
of them being, well, I save a lot of places on TikTok, but after a while, like
Oh,
I found like, oh, if I don't have this like compiled somewhere, I'm never
yep.
gonna go back through my TikTok favorites and like find them. You know what I
So
mean?
guilty. So guilty.
Yeah, so I started this thing where every week I go every Sunday as like a ritual. I like go through my Instagram or my TikTok saves of the week and I'll like go through and like put them in my little spreadsheet of like places to try. So like if I'm in the West Village, then I'm like, okay, let me go to my little spreadsheet on my phone and like see all the places I saved on TikTok. So that's like a fun thing.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And you're work from home, but you're not stuck in your apartment all day. Like,
Yeah, true. I can leave, although I find I do focus best at home, but I feel like kind of stir crazy at home sometimes. So I do try to like get out, but yeah, it's a balance of like, okay, today I'm going out, so like I'll do the lighter work today. I can't get into
nice.
like the deep weeds, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, but you're not just living at Ripley and home. Like you're not just like going back
yeah.
and forth. It's amazing. You're like actually utilizing the city. I love it. I love it
Yeah.
so much. Okay. So tell me about Kleist Creative. Like, what does it focus on? How did you start this business? Like your work is beautiful, the stuff that I've seen.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, okay, so well, Kleist Creative is a brand and web design studio, and like marketing consulting, all that kind of stuff. And basically in 2020, I was just bored. I beforehand I was, working at a restaurant and doing the actor like audition hustle as we all
Mhm.
do. And when the pandemic hit, obviously like all the New York City restaurants shut down and Broadway shut down. So like my entire life was just like, okay, I guess like I have nothing anymore.
Ugh,
So I am not the kind of person who can just like sit in my like boredom and anxiousness. I was like, I
yeah.
have to do something. So as many actors did in March, April 2020, I was like redoing my own website. And at the
Mm.
same time, I was taking some classes at Jen Waldman's studio, who, if you're not familiar, she's like an amazing like
Yeah,
acting,
yeah.
but also like she's really into like the entrepreneurial space as well. So I already
Great.
kind of had that like seed planted by her. Um, and she had mentioned something like, oh, the thing you should be like doing with your life is the thing you find yourself getting lost in. And I, for whatever reason, I had that like really like front of mind. And as I was redoing my own website, I was like, hours had passed. Like I spent like an entire like 9 hour
Wow.
day just like in front of my computer being like, this is so fun. Like I was like, it was giving like major like MySpace, like redoing my MySpace
Yes.
over. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And like also looking back on that, I'm like, even as a kid, like I thought that stuff was super fun. And I just never put together like, oh, maybe I should be doing this.
That's awesome.
Um, but yeah, so I was like, oh, interesting. This is fun. So then I, redid my website, published it, like showed a few friends, and they were like, wait, can you do mine? And I was like, actually, yeah, like I'm so bored, like please. So I did like 3 or 4 websites just for friends, like for completely free, just like for fun to kill the hours and the days,
Yeah.
to stop doom scrolling, honestly. And
Mm-hmm.
um, and they all were like, wait, this is like so great and like feels just like me. And then they would, we would publish their site, they would post about it. And then because they posted about it, a few other people network started reaching out being like, how much do you charge to do this? And I was like, I don't know what I charge. Like, what do I charge? I don't really. So I had to like make up like a obviously at that time really low number on the spot and like
Nice.
just yeah, so it kind of spiraled from boredom and that's
That's
yeah.
amazing. And I feel like someone's like, okay, I might want to do this. How do I even like where do I get clients? Like how much do I charge? I feel like as actors, I don't know, maybe it's a female thing. I don't know. It's just there's this barrier to charging what you're worth or charging what your work is worth. Can you tell me about like how did you get through that and like businesses pay good money for this stuff? And like for me, it's unfathomable what businesses pay, but like they pay good money for this stuff because that's what it's like in the marketplace. So can you kind of talk about your pricing journey a little bit?
Yeah, okay. So it's been really like a slow like crawl up. Like I think like people would see my prices now and they're like, "Holy shit, like how did you like get to that level?" And it's like because like over the past more than 4 years now, I've been like just incrementally raising it ever so slightly. And there came a point where like I was charging like for actor sites, I was like charging the max amount that any other like actor web designer was charging for actor sites.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
was like kind of matching other people's prices.
Hmm.
And I only really compared my pricing to those people that were like also in the actor world who were like doing
Sure.
mostly actor sites.
Makes sense.
And then when I like discovered this whole other world of like web designers who like design for businesses or people who are like not just theater people, like other like I don't know, interior designers or photographers or the
Yeah.
wedding industry, like people are charging thousands and thousands of dollars and my mind like exploded. I was like, okay, like the like discrepancy here is crazy. So there was definitely an awkward period where I for like probably 6 months to a year, I did like artist pricing and then regular people pricing.
Nice.
But then like that started to feel really weird because I was like, it's kind of unfair to like the business owners that like artists are getting the same amount of my time. Like I just felt weird about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, it just ended up reaching a certain point where I was charging a lot for actors and not enough for business owners. And then I 1 year was like, okay, like I just have to like pull off the band-aid, like
Yeah.
raise my prices like a big girl, like
Yeah.
position myself for the businesses themselves. And then like I'm happy to help artists in other ways. I made templates, I like did all these like lower ticket things, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, like I was like, okay, like I have to I have to um just go ahead and join the other web designers doing the business work. So that was kind of my journey. And I still feel like I am one of the more affordable web designers in the business space.
Hmm.
Um, and every year I raise it more and more. And it's like this journey of like, I don't want to say imposter syndrome because I know my work is like really competitive.
Mhm.
But there is like still this like, oh, I didn't go to design school. Like I am self-taught. So
That's
there's like,
amazing.
yeah, there's like an underlying, I'm still working through that. I think I
Yeah.
will always be on some level working through that, but I do know that my work is competitive. So yeah, it's a constant, a constant journey and battle.
It's a journey, and it's not like you flip the switch one day and you're like, oh, I feel great and I can do this. And I love that. Thank you for your honesty in that.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's such a big deal when actors create these businesses. And, that's something that I struggle with too. It's like, it's just, yeah, I don't know what it is. I want to talk about how do you get the clients outside of the actor world? Like, did you ever use Fiverr, Upwork, or anything? Like, how did you expand upon on other than actor world?
Yeah, I never did. So, I think once I was doing like the thing is actors like know other regular people too. You know what I mean? So like
So true.
like I think
Literally
we
so
think that
true.
actors don't like I think we just think we're this insulated group, but we're not. Like people know other people. So somehow like some actor clients like their networks, other
Wow.
people found me, and then
Ugh.
yeah. So that and then also I made some really like genuine friendships with other people in the like marketing world that have adjacent skill sets. So like one of my best friends is a copywriter and
Oh,
she,
nice.
works with a ton of clients and then recommends me or like vice versa. I'll like
Nice.
have clients go to her. Um, so yeah, it's just a lot of like making like actual friends, not just like networky like
Yeah.
partnerships.
And if you do good work, it gets recognized and people pass it on. And
Yeah.
just want to go back to your raising prices after you raise prices every year, but you're still getting the work. You do quality work, people will pay for the quality and people will pay for. So
Yeah. And
just want to throw that out
this
there.
this shocks me every time. Every time I raise it, I'm like, well, I'm never getting it again. And then
No.
people still come and I'm like, oh, I could have just been doing that this whole time. Okay, great.
Thank you. Right? Right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like think of how many thousands of dollars that you messed up. But it's a process. It's a process. You're not going to flip the switch overnight and be like, oh, I'm going to go out and charge XYZ for a website. It's a process.
Also,
Um,
like, I am someone who like I don't know if this is good or bad. Maybe this is not like a healthy way to go about this mentally, but I am someone who has to like exhaust myself at a certain price point, get so frustrated being like, okay, like the ROI they're getting on this is actually like I have to get myself to a point where I'm like actually mad at myself, honestly, for charging so little. And
yeah.
then that's when I get to the point where I'm like, okay, it either has to be this new amount or I will never do another site again. Like I have to
Because
get
you
that
put so
level.
much into it that it's
Yes.
right.
And that sounds so like intense and insane, but
No.
I am ultimately like I have to get to a level where I'm like, okay, like I cannot do this anymore for this
Yeah.
amount. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Can you talk about how you balance the business and your acting business? And I'm saying the business, I know acting is a business, so I'm gonna get comments. I know acting is a business, but can you talk about how you balance Kleist Creative and your acting business?
Yeah. Okay, so well, the good thing about my business is that it's all like in my laptop. So if I have a contract, I can literally just take the work with me. Obviously, that
God
means
bless.
like I have to move things around. Like 2 years ago, I did two productions of Kinky Boots, one in which I like knew way in advance, so I was able to like plan my client work, around that. But then the
Yeah.
other one right after that, which I did not know until like a month before, so I did have to shift some clients and that can be kind of tricky. I did find that when I'm in a rehearsal process, I like really can't be doing client work because obviously you're like in rehearsal all day. But once
Yeah,
you're
you're
like,
fried.
yeah, but once you're like through tech and you're like through opening of a
Yeah.
show and you're just doing the run of the show, then I can bring the client work back in during the day. So that has been really helpful. And then in terms of like the majority of the time, which is like just the audition life,
Yep.
um, so I recently joined Equity, which was important to me
Oh,
because
congrats.
Oh, thanks. I did that earlier this year.
Yeah.
Um, but now, of course, it's like helpful to have appointment times so I can plan my,
Oh, right.
yeah, exactly.
I
So
know.
like now I can actually plan like my life around it during the non-union days when the non-union days and my business were the same. It was like impossible, and I felt like I really had to choose one or the other most days.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I just try to go to as many auditions as possible. One thing I will say, just like energetically, like energy wise, is like I refuse to burn myself out either way. So like literally today I signed up for the Wicked EPA and I canceled it because I was like, I have too much to do like for this client site and
Yeah.
like it's an EPA, like it'll be fine. Like they're
Yeah.
probably gonna cut it down to 8 bars anyway, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, so I'm not gonna stress it. Like
Yep.
if it's
Yeah.
if it's an appointment or a callback, obviously
Totally different story.
completely different story. We'll prioritize that, but I'm
Yes.
not gonna like ditch like my work and my clients to like if I'm feeling too tired to go to an EPA. You know what I mean? So
But you have the choice,
yeah,
right? That is your choice. Like, what a gift. Like,
yeah,
this business has given you the choice to do that.
yeah,
Like,
for
that's
sure.
incredible. Like, that's that I talk about. Like, the best business is something that you can do anytime, anywhere, from anywhere. Like, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. So that's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Um, oh, I would love to hear like what lessons you've learned along the way. I think pricing and knowing your worth and finding your worth is just something that we will constantly it's something that I'm constantly working on. But I think pricing is a huge one. What other lessons or things that you wish you would have known when you started out that you can impart with us? Knowledge. I'll take it.
Hmm. Yeah. It's funny because I feel like pricing is such a big one in that.
That's
Um,
great. I mean,
yeah.
that's such a huge deal. That's great to know that we're not the only ones struggling with it, you know?
Yeah. Also, the other thing is that I think I don't know if this is still a notion because in my brain it's like fully not a thing anymore. But back in 2020 or 2019, I was so nervous that like if I leaned really hard into this brand and website direction, then like everyone in the theater industry would be like, oh, she's not an actor anymore, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, please
And
tell
then
us more.
yeah, and then if I was a brand and web designer who talked too much about acting or whatever, then those clients wouldn't take me seriously. Like I was like, if I try to straddle both, like it's not gonna be like both sides are gonna like not take me seriously.
Yes.
I do think that can happen, and
Okay.
that genuinely does happen to some people, but it's because they aren't like leaning in on both as part of their like brand story. Like I think it was so essential for me like when I was figuring out how I was going to do my website or if I was going to have a separate business website or like
Yes.
have like my personal website
Yep.
be together with it. I was like no, like all of these things belong together because in my opinion theater and marketing are the same skill in different fonts, which is something that I
Mm,
always say.
love
But
it.
um I was like, no, we're gonna put these two together because they are all like a part of me and they're the same skill, just literally just different mediums. If
Yep.
you position your hyphenates as the same skill, but two different mediums of that skill, or maybe like, you are the brand, and then these are just all the different legs of your brand.
Yep.
That is like, that is how people take you seriously in all areas. It's when
Love
you
that.
start to separate and like have one foot in one and one foot in the other instead of both feet in like your entire personal brand. I think that was like the secret. And yeah, just like as I continue to lean in and lean in, like now I am known as like a multi-hyphenate person with like all these different things, which is amazing because now if for whatever reason I, burn out on brand and web design and don't want to do it in 5 years and want to do something else, I will still be known as a multi-hyphenate person and people will take me seriously in whatever new creative adventure waits next. So that's like,
I
that's the tea.
love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being told, do not put anything about your survival job side hustle on a website. Like
Hmm.
literally have your actor life over here and completely separate. Like
Hmm.
whether that, and whether it's just people understanding, guess what, people have lives and things outside of acting. To me, I feel like, you need to be financially stable to have a long acting career, because like that's the number one thing. Like, guess what? If you're not eating, or you can't stay in the city and you don't have money to stay in the city, how can you continue to act at the level that you want to? But maybe people are just okay with it now, but I love that you're making multi-hyphenate okay. Like, you're making it
It's
okay to be that, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like I think it is like more accepted now because I think like we've grown to realize that like there are people with like 5 Broadway credits under their belt who like are also real estate agents still. You
yes,
know what I mean?
yes.
And I think we need to be realistic about that fact. Like
Thank you.
unless you literally have a trust fund, like everyone has something else. Or if you're a trust fund person, which is amazing, I love that for you.
God
Or
bless.
or you're like a huge star, like outside of those two things, every other person has other things. So I think we're finally like starting to get to a place where we're like chill with that. But yeah, for a long time it was like really annoying.
Thank God. It's just
Yeah.
like, and then you get to a level in your career where you don't want to take certain jobs anymore.
Mhm.
Okay, but if you don't take certain jobs, like, you're not going to get a lead or supporting on Broadway like every single year. That's not going to, like, once every five, or whatever the sequence is, but like, you're gonna need something to sustain you if you don't want to take every job, and if you want to be picky about jobs.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, if you want the career that you want, you need that financial foundation. I love it. I love that
Yep.
we're finally getting there. We're
I
finally
know.
like,
I At least I think so. I also might just be
yeah.
delusional because like I so deeply believe that.
No,
So who
I
knows?
think I
But
think people no, I think people will finally get it. Okay, can you brag about some major wins? I love this.
yes. Okay, so well, next week I'm speaking at a conference for brand and web designers.
Ooh.
The website platform that I design on is hosting a conference, so I'm going to Arizona to speak next week.
What
So
do you what do you host on?
it's called Show It.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like a I feel like as of 2020 that was like when it like really blew up, but it
Ooh.
originally was created for photographers, but then a whole bunch of other creatives like just any other creative in the sort of internet world kind of found it and was like, wait, this is like an amazing platform. But I like it because there's just a lot of like creative freedom in terms of what you can do design wise. When I started on Squarespace and like
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what my yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And I do like Squarespace. Like I think Squarespace is great for DIY, but
Yeah.
once I was playing with Show It one time during the pandemic, I saw it on a Facebook ad and I was like playing around and within like 2 hours, I was like, oh my God, this is like the best ever. I have to switch everything over
That's
here.
such a big deal. You're speaking at their conference. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yay. Okay.
I'm so excited for
Yay.
that. So that'll be really fun. I'm talking about imagery, like brand
Nice.
imagery. And what's another one? Oh, I just designed a website for Ashley Flowers, who is
Nice.
if you are familiar with the podcast Crime Junkie, she's the host of Crime Junkie,
Nice.
which is like a top 10 in the world podcast. So that's really fun.
Amazing.
I was also on the Wall Street Journal this year. That's fun.
Yay.
I had a little feature. Yeah, I feel like those are the top 3 of the year.
Yay. Those are some pretty rocking things. Oh, can you tell me, I mean, show it. What are your favorite tools? Like you mentioned, show it. I like Canva and Trello and but yeah, what are some of your favorite tools?
Yeah, okay. So my entire life is hosted on Notion, basically, which
Really?
yes.
Okay. Do I need to get into it? Is it really that good?
I think, okay, I think it depends on like what you gravitate towards
Okay.
visually. Like I just think I don't know why I love it. It just makes so much sense to me,
It's
but
amazing.
it is helpful if you get like on Etsy people sell like Notion templates for like a
Yes.
dashboard
Yeah.
or whatever and
Hmm.
they're usually pretty cheap and I feel like, if you want to play around with it you should, but
Okay.
yeah, literally my entire life is on Notion. So I'm obsessed. I have like a dashboard for like my personal life and like, like things I need to keep track of. And then I have
Yeah.
a business one, I have an actor one. Yeah. It's great.
Ooh.
So love Notion. I do use Canva a lot. I feel like I use Canva for a lot of Instagram. And Show It, obviously. Also, uh, was always like intrigued by AI. I'm not one of those people that's like mad about it.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, well, it's happening, so we might as well just like lean in and learn
Yeah.
it. But I just recently learned from this like AI educator that I'm friends with on Instagram, how to set custom instructions in my little chat bot. So, obviously, like I'm sure many people are familiar with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Another one called Claude, which I like Claude better because it's like a little sleeker and the responses are a little more like human, like
Yes.
a little more like,
Yeah.
yeah, like the writing is just better. I feel like in the
Okay.
responses, it's less like robotic. But
Hmm.
um in Claude, and you can do this in ChatGPT too, but you can set custom instructions. So like you can like, for example, I have one set up for well, actually, let me talk about my actor one because I feel like that would be
Yeah.
helpful to the audience.
Yeah.
So I have one set up for my actor, like whatever life. And in the
Hmm.
custom instructions, I have like my whatever quote unquote type, even though I hate that, like my vocal range, like the genres I excel at, like
Yeah.
all this stuff, like like kind of a profile about me.
Yeah.
And I can go into Claude and be like, okay, like, I have an audition for Wicked. Like, what are some songs for Elphaba? And then it'll like tell me based on like my vocal range and all the information I like already put in. So highly recommend doing that.
That's so exciting.
Yes, yes. So that's my other favorite new little tech moment.
Thank you. Thank you. I love this. Books. Do you want to talk about any favorite books?
Yes. Okay. So the book that has had the most impact on my life is this book called Reach Out by Molly Beck.
Okay.
Um, the core conceit, it's like a nonfiction sort of like personal development business book, but the conceit of it was the author Molly wrote or she reached out to one new person every single day for
Wow.
like I don't know how many. I think she was like, let me do this for 100 days. And then she realized the impact I was making and then like kept doing it for a long time. But it was like every day she would send an email to either like someone she knew or someone she didn't know or whatever, like basically anyone's email that she felt interested to chat with and also could get access to.
Yeah.
And this resulted in like she like got all these like she got a new job and she like started her own business and like did all this stuff. So I read this book in 2018 as a part of Jen Waldman's studio. She has a book club. And I did it for like a month and like had some success, but like just fell off the habit because obviously that's one of those things that is like so easy to be like, I'm gonna do this every day, and then like
Yep.
then you're like, actually, never mind. So did that. And then in 2020, my friend Carly was like really, really into this book. And she put together like an online sort of like accountability group where we would log on to Zoom every day during the pandemic at 9:27 a.m.
Oh,
and do a reach out. And she partnered with the author of the book to like do this thing. So basically throughout the entire pandemic, so like from literally March 2020 till probably like I want to say like May 2021, like over a year, we did this. It is like part of so many, it is the reason that I have a business like this. Like honestly, like
wow.
it gave me so much confidence to talk to people. I made so many like cool connections, cool people, cool friends. I ended up like helping them. I ended up becoming like basically their marketing person and like they like did this course and I became friends with the author. And then I made a TikTok video that accidentally got the book on the Amazon bestseller list for like
Oh
a
my God.
second. Like it was such a whirlwind. And yeah, so if anyone's feeling stuck in their life, that book is like, if you actually do it,
Yeah.
it's so life-changing. So that's my crazy story about
That's amazing.
Freak Out. Yeah.
Reach out. All right, cool. We will definitely look that up.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been so much fun. Thank you. Is there anything you want to talk about, share your knowledge and like with actors, I just have one last question, shameless plug time, but like, is there anything else you want to mention before I wrap it up here?
Ooh. Um, okay, so one last little thing, a motto I live by is
Yes.
everything is cringe until it's successful. Um,
Say
so
that again, please.
everything is cringe until it's successful, and then
Uh,
it's no longer cringe. As soon as
uh,
other people start to recognize what you're doing, then they're no longer like, that's weird. What is she doing? But until then, people are going to say that, and you just have to get over it. That is important. And yeah, I don't know if you want to get on my email list. I have a
yes.
newsletter that I send every Tuesday. I've been sending every Tuesday for the last like 3 years. Um, you can find it on my website. It's like in the footer of my homepage.
So spell it's Kleist Creative is your website, right?
Yeah, or sarahkleist.com or kleistcreative.com. It'll both of them
So
will.
it's
Yeah.
KleistCreative.
Yes.
Kleistcreative.com is your website. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Give me more shameless plug stuff. So go to your website, get on the email newsletter. Anything else we
Yes.
need to know about?
I obviously offer brand and web design services if anyone
Amazing.
here is in need. I also do designer, like I mentor other designers. So if
Oh,
you are an
wow.
actor who wants to become a designer, maybe we chat. Um, I think that's it for now.
You mentioned templates. Do you still have
Oh,
like
yes,
templates?
I do. I'm in the process of redoing them.
Okay.
But yes, they should be live by the end of the year.
Okay.
So,
And that's templates for actor websites
yes,
on what platform?
on Show It.
So do they purchase the template and then they can like self fill the stuff in?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And it's not that hard. Like once they have the
No,
template, like it's like I could
yes,
do it. Okay.
yes, exactly. They come with
Okay.
little video like
Oh,
tutorials
love that. Okay,
and
cool.
all of that too.
Okay. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Thank you.